Madam Speaker, I rise today in support of this joint resolution of disapproval. We must overturn the CFPB's small business lending rule to ensure small businesses across America, who are the backbone of our country, have continued access to affordable credit to support and grow our economy. Access to affordable credit is key to ensuring communities across America remain vibrant. Unfortunately, the CFPB's small business lending rule undermines the goal of affordable and available credit, which I think we all should share. Here's why. First, the CFPB's rule is overly broad. It will require lenders to collect massive amounts of data whenever a small business owner applies for credit. Most of the information is unnecessary to make a fair, equitable, safe, and sound loan. Requiring lenders to provide the information infringes on small business owners' rights to privacy about their personal and business information when applying for credit. Second, the CFPB's rule is burdensome. Community banks and credit unions across America account for the majority of small business lending. They are doing their part. Despite claims from my colleagues across the aisle, this rule does not go after big banks. It will have the biggest impact on the small community financial institutions already operating under the thinnest of margins because of runaway inflation, increased interest rates from the Federal Reserve, and general the Biden economy. The rule also discourages banks and credit unions from expanding their lending portfolios. They might simply decide that the droves of new compliance officers they would have to hire to comply with this onerous rule would simply not be worth it, and Main Street is hammered again. The CFPB director says he is trying to be sensitive to the needs of small community financial institutions, oftentimes advocating for relationship banking. However, in the rule, the CFPB sets the transaction threshold at an incredibly low 100 loans in the preceding 2 calendar years. This means the smallest of banks, small business, and their owners will be the ones to bear the brunt of the unnecessary data collections, and Main Street is hammered again. Third, the rule will be difficult to implement. The rule itself is nearly 900 pages and requires lenders to report 81 data fields. Developing compliance systems to achieve this will be extremely costly for firms, which takes resources away from actually lending to small business, and Main Street is hammered again. The timeline for implementation is also insufficient for lenders to develop the necessary systems to comply with such a complex and burdensome regulation. Each hour a lender spends on the overly broad data collection demanded by the rule is an hour not devoted to ensuring credit is available and affordable for small business, and Main Street is hammered again. So finally, it's unclear that the Bureau intends to do with its exceedingly expansive data demands. What we do know is the CFPB plans to publicly post the data on the CFPB's website. This is concerning given the Bureau's alarming record of facilitating the naming and shaming of companies whose business activities progressive activists want to attack. Adding to the concerns of the CFPB's abysmal track record of protecting the highly sensitive data it already collects, and in fact, back in February of this year, there was a major unauthorized data breach by the CFPB employee, which included personally identifiable information and confidential supervisory information. So why should we ever trust them to protect sensitive information of small business owners this time around? So to sum it up, the rule is backwards looking. It's anti-small business, it's anti-capitalism, it's anti-competition, it's anti-free markets, and it's anti-risk and reward. It is critical that we pass this resolution to overturn this reckless CFPB rule to protect small business access to the credit needed to continue to innovate and grow our economy. And a new idea while we're at it, let's put people back to work again. I urge my colleagues to support this resolution, and Madam Speaker, I reserve.